Andor is back. And if you thought Season 1 was intense, the first 3 episodes of Season 2 crank everything up to 11. This isn't just a return to the galaxy far, far away. It's a deep dive into the messy, morally gray roots of the Rebel Alliance. Forget Jedi. Forget flashy dogfights. This is rebellion in the dirt, in the shadows, and in the hearts of people who've lost almost everything. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. In this video, we're breaking down the ending of episodes 1 through 3, and trust me, it's a lot. We're talking about Cassian's desperate rescue mission, Mon Mothma's heartbreaking sacrifices, the brutal cost of standing up to the Empire, and the chilling reminder that even in the fight for freedom, not everyone makes it out. And if you thought the early days of the Rebel Alliance were all hopeful speeches and coordinated plans, think again. The ending of Episode 3 makes it very clear. The fight for freedom doesn't come without devastating loss. So buckle up, because Andor isn't here to comfort you. It's here to show you what rebellion really looks like.
Don't shoot her! Make it move! Underfire!
Cassian's mission goes sideways. Cassian Andor starts Season 2 on what looks like a solid mission. Get a stolen TIE Avenger prototype back to Luthen. Classic spycraft, right? But as always in Andor, plans unravel fast. Word reaches him that people from his past, Bix, Brasso, Willman, are in danger. The Empire hasn't let go of its grip, and the fallout from Ferrix is still echoing across the galaxy. So Cassian drops everything and races to the farming planet Mina Rau, a place that's quietly been sheltering survivors and rebels. But Mina Rau isn't just a safe house anymore. It's on the edge of becoming another Ferrix. The tension is unbearable, and it explodes in Episode 3. The tragedy of Brasso. Here's the moment that really hits home. Cassian arrives just in time to rescue Bix and Willman, but Brasso, dependable, solid, loyal Brasso, doesn't make it out. Stormtroopers catch him trying to evade capture, and he's gunned down. Just like that. This isn't some noble sacrifice with swelling music. It's brutal and fast. It feels real, and that's the point. Andor doesn't glorify war. It shows you the broken pieces. Brasso wasn't some high-ranking rebel or military hero. He was a guy who stood up when it counted, and he died for it. That's the harsh reality Andor lays out. Not everyone gets to be a legend. Sometimes the people who hold communities together, the quiet heroes, are the first to fall. And the rebellion keeps moving because it has to. The cost of freedom. For everyone, Cassian's escape with Bix and Willman is a small win, but the cost, massive. The farmers of Mina Rau, who helped hide rebels and stood against the Empire's census check, are likely to suffer. Grain silos are destroyed, and several Imperials are dead. Retaliation is inevitable. These people weren't soldiers. They were just trying to live. But in this galaxy, neutrality is a myth. If you're not with the Empire, you're a threat. So even a whisper of defiance invites ruin. Andor makes it clear. Rebellion doesn't only scar the rebels, it scars everyone around them. And while some may say it's worth it, the show never lets us forget how high the price truly is. Mon Mothma's descent into moral ambiguity. Now, while Cassian's running headfirst into danger, Mon Mothma is playing an entirely different kind of game. Back on Chandria, her life is unraveling in quieter, but no less devastating ways. Her daughter's wedding is happening, an arranged marriage orchestrated with help from Davos Skulden, a man Mon can barely tolerate. The marriage secures funds for the rebellion, sure, but at the cost of her daughter's autonomy and Mon's own soul. And it doesn't stop there. Her longtime friend and financial ally, Tay Kolma, begins pressuring her for more money. But Tay's not just desperate, he's reckless. He becomes a liability. So Luthen does what Luthen always does. He removes the risk. And by remove, we mean Cinna kills Tay off screen. Just another sacrifice in the name of the greater good. Mon doesn't even flinch. Well, not outwardly. Internally, she's spiraling. She drinks. She dances. She clings to fleeting moments of distraction to avoid facing what she's become. A rebel leader who's sacrificing her family, her friends, and her very humanity for the cause. And that's the heartbreak. Mon Mothma, the beacon of hope in the original trilogy, is being slowly hollowed out by compromise. Andor isn't just showing us how the rebellion began, it's showing us what it cost.
I can't fly the ship. The drop is compromised. I've been upside down for...
A galaxy-wide abuse of power, one of the most shocking and, honestly, most mature moments of this season arc involves Bix. Before she's rescued, an Imperial guard attempts to sexually assault her. Yes, this is Star Wars territory, and yes, this scene changes everything. It's a bold, horrifying choice from the creators, but it serves a vital purpose. It reveals just how evil, how deeply corrupted, and how unrepentantly fascist the Empire truly is. No more sanitized villainy, no more comic book bad guys. This is real, systemic abuse. The Empire doesn't just destroy worlds, it destroys lives, one act of power and control at a time. Bix fights back. She survives. But the scars are there, and Cassian's arrival, just moments later, feels like a release valve on a pressure cooker that's been ready to blow since Season 1. That scene tells us everything about why the rebellion must exist, not because it's noble, not because it's heroic, but because the alternative is absolute horror. No happy endings, just necessary ones. So where does that leave us at the end of Episode 3? Bix and Willman are safe, for now. Cassian's lost another friend. The Empire's grip is tighter than ever, and Mon Mothma is looking less like a leader and more like a shell of her former self. Everyone's made sacrifices, everyone's bleeding, but even through all the pain, there's a thread of resolve, because while Andor shows us that rebellion is dirty, complicated, and often soul-crushing, it also shows us why it's worth it. The lives lost, the friendships shattered, the quiet compromises made in the shadows. All of it leads to something better, eventually. The Rebel Alliance isn't shiny, it isn't even united yet, but it's being born, moment by moment, through decisions no one wants to make, and through people who don't get statues or ceremonies. People like Brasso, like Tay, like Bix, who survives the Empire's cruelty, like Mon, who sacrifices everything and gets nothing in return. And of course, like Cassian, the man who, long before he became the hero of Rogue One, was just trying to keep his people alive and losing more of himself with every mission. Our nerdy thoughts. If there's one thing Andor Season 2's first arc teaches us, it's that the rebellion wasn't born out of idealism. It was born out of desperation, out of trauma, out of the simple, searing truth that if people like Bix don't fight back, the Empire wins. And for all the darkness Andor shows us, it never lets us forget what's at stake. Freedom, justice, dignity, all those high-concept ideas that feel so distant in war-torn worlds. They matter, and they're worth fighting for, but they come at a terrible, often unbearable cost. And that's why Andor stands tall as not just the best Star Wars TV show, but maybe the most important one, because it dares to ask, what does it really take to rebel? And then it answers, honestly, everything. And that's the end of Andor Season 2's first 3 episodes. Raw, relentless, and unapologetically real. If you came here expecting lightsaber duels and hopeful one-liners, Andor flips the table and says, here's what rebellion actually looks like. Every death, every sacrifice, every silent glance. It's all building towards something bigger. But that bigger doesn't come easy. It comes with heartbreak, compromise, and more loss than victory. And somehow, that makes this story even more powerful. So if you're loving this darker, deeper dive into the Star Wars universe, make sure to stick around. We'll be breaking down every twist, every sacrifice, and every inch of this slow burn masterpiece as the season continues. Until next time, remember, rebellions aren't built on hope alone. They're built on pain, sacrifice, and the people willing to carry that burden in silence. See you in the next breakdown.